Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we have discussed about distance, displacement, like velocity, speed, and acceleration, which are the basic terms of motion. So today we will start with the types of motion. In the types of motion, the first is uniform motion. What does uniform motion means? Uniform motion is when the speed or velocity of the object remain constant. That is called uniform motion. For example, hands of the clock. Here the speed of the hands of the clock that is constant. So we can categorize it into uniform motion. Then what is non-uniform motion? Non-uniform means that is variable. So non-uniform motion means when the speed or velocity of the object keeps on changing with time. That is called non-uniform motion. Now speed can change in two ways. First is speed can change by equal amount. For example, like if anything is in motion, in first second its speed increases by 5, in second its speed become suppose 10, in third seconds its speed become 15. So in every second the speed is increasing by 5. So in such case the acceleration is constant. Such type of motion is called uniform accelerated motion. Means here the speed changes because it is accelerated motion. Whenever there is acceleration means speed will change. The thing is how the speed will change. Now in uniform accelerated motion, see uniform word kiske aage? Acceleration ke aage. Means here acceleration remain constant. That is speed or velocity changes by equal amount in equal interval of time. Just as I have given the example. Like in every second it is increasing by the amount of 5. Okay, its example is free falling of object under gravity because gravity value of earth is constant. So as the object moves in downward direction, its speed increases by equal amount in equal interval of time. Then is non-uniform accelerated motion. Now what is here non-uniform accelerated motion? That in non-uniform accelerated motion, the speed or velocity obviously that will change, but now the change will be random, like it changes by unequal amount in equal interval of time, or vice versa. There can be equal amount in unequal interval of time. Means random change in the speed or velocity. It may increase suddenly, it may decrease suddenly, or there must be slight increase like that. So this is your non-uniform accelerated motion. Uniform accelerated motion and non-uniform accelerated motion both are the types of non-uniform motion. Always remember whenever the word acceleration is there, whether it is uniform or non-uniform acceleration, the speed will always change because acceleration का meaning ही यही है change in speed of or change in uh, means velocity of the object. Okay, so this is all about the types of motion. See here just a pictorial representation types of motion. It is divided into like these different types. Here types of motion, like here it is uniform motion, then it is non-uniform motion. Non-uniform motion is further categorized into uniform accelerated motion and non-uniform accelerated motion. The most important here is your uniform accelerated motion. This we have to discuss in detail while deriving the equations of motion. Okay, now coming to your graphical representation of motion. Now, what is in graphical representation of motion? These are the distance time graph and speed time graph simultaneously. I have like it is there on the screen. First case is when the object is at rest. Now, what is happening here when the object is at rest? So you can see here distance time graph means distance will be along y-axis, time will be along x-axis. That is why it is called distance time graph. Similarly, if you say speed time graph, speed along the y-axis, time along the x-axis. Now when the object is at rest, for example, you are sitting in your room and there is a wall of the room, the distance of that wall from you is always constant because अगर आप move नहीं कर रहे हो, that wall is not moving. So the distance between you and wall is fixed, says it is 10 meter. So even when the time t is 0, the distance is 5, time t is 1, the distance is again 5, means time keeps on changing but the distance remain the same. Distance change nahi ho raha. So that is why it is a straight line. Okay, so this kind of straight line is obtained. So whenever an object is at rest, so distance time graph is a straight line parallel to time axis. So what about speed time graph? If the object is at rest, what is the speed? Yes, speed will be 0. So time keeps on changing but speed remain 0. So that is why graph is along the time axis. Now suppose the object is in uniform motion, means moving with constant speed. So the graph distance time graph is again a straight line, but now this time it is inclined to the time axis, means time axis के साथ कोई angle बना रही है. Okay, this is the distance time graph when the speed is constant. Remember this graph, distance time graph is a straight line but making an angle with the time axis. So uniform motion means here speed is constant but distance keeps on increasing. Even though speed is constant, distance keeps on increasing. Okay, so what is speed time graph? Now as the time passes, speed remains same. Like time t 0 था, speed was suppose 10, time t 1 हो गया, आगे time increase कर रहा है but speed तब भी 10 रह रही है. So the graph is again a straight line parallel to time axis. Okay, so this is about two types of graphs we have done till now, when the object is at rest or when the object is in uniform motion, that is moving with constant speed. Okay, next, coming to next types of graphs. Now see here, number of graphs are there. We'll understand them one by one. So what is here? When the object is in non-uniform motion but constant acceleration, or you can say uniform accelerated motion. So distance now onwards, like whenever there is velocity which is varying, change kar rahi hai, so distance keeps on increasing. Because see, this is accelerated motion, means velocity keeps on increasing. Agar velocity बढ़ती जा रही है, what is happening? Distance भी of course बढ़ता जा रहा है. So distance curve is moving like this. So it is towards the distance axis की तरफ वो bend होता जाएगा. And what about speed time graph for the same? Speed time graph क्या आएगा? Because acceleration is constant but speed is increasing by equal amount in equal interval of time. So again it is a straight line but making an angle theta, means at any angle with the time axis. So this is your speed time graph for uniform accelerated motion, and this graph we have to use a lot. That for uniform acceleration, speed time graph is a straight line but making an angle with the time axis. Now again, when the object is in non-uniform motion but with constant deceleration or retardation. What is retardation? We have done yesterday. Retardation means negative acceleration. So in that case, even when retardation is there, like even अगर आप brakes भी apply कर देते हो, but still the distance keeps on increasing. वो increase करता जाता है, कम नहीं होता distance. But what happened to the speed? It keeps on decreasing, and ultimately it will become zero after some time. जब आपकी कार, आपका vehicle रुक जाता है, बिल्कुल stop हो जाता है, then ultimately the speed becomes zero. So this is the graph for deceleration. Next is when the object is moving with variable acceleration, means non uniform motion ही है but अब acceleration भी क्या है, वो change हो रही है. So again distance time graph तो वही आएगा, curve बनेगा आपका, और अब speed भी जो आपकी change हो सकती है किसी भी way में, it may increase, then it may decrease, then it may again increase. So it can change in any way. Okay, this is for non uniform accelerated motion. So the last graph is basically when the object is in uniform accelerated motion, means speed changes by equal amount, but even at time t is equal to 0, आपका object rest पे नहीं था, उसने कुछ distance पहले ही travel किया हुआ था. So that is why at time t equals to 0, you can say it has already traveled some distance. So this graph you can start from, like there will be some changes in the graph. So this graph can start from here, that even at time t equals to 0, it has traveled certain distance. The graph will start from here, it will go like this. Okay, so this is the type of graph. So it will go like this. It will start even at time t equals to 0, it is having certain distance. So the graph will be as represented by the yellow line. So this is the type of graph. And for speed time graph also, like initially at time t equals to 0, there is some speed, that is initial speed, and this is called initial speed, and after time t it is having certain final speed. Okay, so these are the types of graphs. Go through these graphs once again. After that, next is what is the importance of these graphs. Now coming to importance, first we'll discuss about the distance time graph. Okay, so now consider like this is your distance time graph for constant speed. Here we have taken that the speed is constant, so distance keeps on increasing at constant, means this is a straight line. So distance will increase by equal amount in equal interval of time. So what you have taken, ये जो आपकी blue lines indicate कर रही है या black line indicates कर रही है जहाँ पे T1 T2 mark किया है. So let T1 is any time at which the distance travelled is say S1. Let T2 be the another time at which distance travelled is S2. Okay, then means total distance from here to here is S2. Total distance यहाँ से यहाँ तक का था S1. So जो इनका difference आएगा that will be S2 minus S1. And similarly जो आपका time का difference आएगा that will be T2 minus T1. Okay, so what is the importance of distance time graph? That in distance time graph, speed of the object is given by the slope. Now what is slope? Slope क्या होता है? Like this is the triangle. In this triangle, if this angle is theta, then slope is actually tan of theta. Now you have not done trigonometry here in class 9th. Just remember what is slope. Slope कैसे calculate करते हैं? That is y coordinate over x coordinate. Means y axis पे कितनी वैल्यू है? Y axis की तरफ कितनी वैल्यू है? S2 minus S1. X axis की तरफ कितनी वैल्यू है? T2 minus T1. So that is your slope. So slope is here S2 minus S1 over T2 minus T1. And what is S2 minus S1? This is actually the distance travelled. And what is T2 minus T1? That is the time taken. So what is distance travelled over time taken? That is called speed. So this is importance of distance time graph कि जब भी आप distance time graph की slope calculate करोगे, slope is always equal to speed. Slope, always remember what is slope? It is slope is y coordinate, means y axis की तरफ जो value होगी divided by x coordinate. So जब भी आपने slope calculate करी, that is equal to speed. So this is the importance of distance time graph. Similarly, what is the importance of velocity time graph? Again, you have drawn this graph for uniform accelerated motion. See from here, initially at time t equals to 0, it is having some initial velocity. फिर उसकी कुछ final velocity हो गई. Okay, then change in velocity, like at time t1 you can say the velocity was u, time t2 पे velocity was v. So change in velocity कितना हो गया? v minus u. Means ये जो y coordinate की value है वो कितनी होगी? v minus u. और ये जो x coordinate है इसकी value कितनी होगी? t2 minus t1. So we know what is slope. Slope is y coordinate over x coordinate. So y coordinate is v minus u over x coordinate is t2 minus t1. Now what is this v minus u? V is final speed, u is your initial speed or initial velocity. So v minus u will be change in speed. Final speed minus initial speed means कितना change हुआ है speed में, divided by t2 minus t1, that is your time taken. So slope will be equal to change in speed or velocity over time taken. और ये किसकी definition है? Change in speed or velocity over time taken, that is the definition of acceleration. So slope will give you acceleration. Means slope of VT graph is always equal to acceleration. So this is one of the importance of speed time graph or velocity time graph. Now coming to another importance of speed time graph. Now if we consider this type of graph, say here this graph, here this is the graph, here speed is straight line parallel to time axis. What does it mean? That speed remain constant. So again you have taken two time intervals t1 and t2. So at time t1 speed was u because speed remain constant. t2 time पे भी speed कितनी है? u. Now what is the area of this rectangle? Area is length into breadth. So length is, that is u, speed of the object. Breadth कितनी है? t2 minus t1. So this is speed into time. So speed into time is equal to what? Distance traveled. It means what is the importance of speed time graph? If we calculate area under graph, that will always be equal to distance traveled. So wherever from the graph, जब आपको area distance calculate करना है, we can calculate the distance, we can calculate the area. So हमारे पास distance traveled आ जाएगा. Okay, so इसमें important क्या है? What you have to learn is slope क्या होती है? Y coordinate over x coordinate. This is the new term which you have done in this chapter. Go through these pages once again. Okay, revise it again and again. Then I will post certain questions in the group during your class. So you have to solve those questions. Like you have to interpret a graph will be given to you. You have to interpret which section represent uniform motion, non-uniform motion, or retarded motion and all based upon the types of graph. Okay, so go through these once again. Okay, and after that do the questions sent in the group. This is all for today, and whenever you will watch the video, just write your name in the comment section so that I should come to know those means whosoever has seen this video. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.